Something that irks me deeply is people's misconceptions about what a spiritual awakening journey looks like, what a spiritual person is supposed to act and be like, or whatever the case is. I think the misconception of how spiritual people are supposed to behave, how they're supposed to dress, this, that, and the other, honestly, pisses me off. And I'm well aware that we all have generalized ideas of all sorts of things, but multiple things can exist at the same time. Like, paradoxes are a real thing. If there's one thing I truly cannot stand with my whole heart, it's listening to some people say that, oh, if you're super spiritual, you need to show up a certain way, or you need to go through and float through life a certain way. No, what the fuck you don't. You can drop the F-bomb as much as you want. You can believe in whatever you want. You can love and light as much as you want. You can embrace your shadow side, which I recommend, as much as you want. You can do whatever it is that you please. And I hate this notion and things that are going around. Granted, yes, we all have our own beliefs. I hate the notion that if you're spiritual, you are only allowed to show up one way. And at our core, we know that's not true. But based on societal standards and pressures, that's the pressure that everybody puts on everybody. Oh, well, if you're really tapped in and you're really aligned, then watch your negative words and shut up. Literally, the best form of healing you can get and the best way to show up in your power is by sometimes, at the end of the day, telling people to shut the fuck up or stop them where they had you fucked up at. Like, you do not have to show up in specific type of outfits. You don't have to present yourself. You don't have to live your life a certain way. You can literally just exist however which way you want and still be as spiritual as possible. You don't have to not, what is it? You're like, oh, if you're spiritual, don't fall victim to consumerism. Girl, whoever, if you want to buy whatever you want to buy it. Like, are you kidding me? And if you want to get really religious, did they not dress up in the Bible or what? We just skip that part? Get a grip. You can show up however you please. Like, it drives me up the wall. Another thing that drives me up the wall is this stupid ass, let me watch my mouth. The thing that drives me up the wall is the idea that you're not allowed to be, you can't be bitchy. You can't, I'm sorry, what? My best work in life, even down to my best spiritual, because when I channel, I'm a different girl. When I channel, I'm a bitch. Like, and even when I come out of channeling, I'm literally like, sorry, don't know who she was, because I'm aggressive and I mean, and like, every single time I'm like, stop talking, don't want to hear it. I'm so cold and so cutthroat. That is the stuff that we don't talk about in spirituality. You can sit here and say you tap in, you chime and you do this. Well, guess what? Spirit isn't always nice. So stop with all this, like, you have to come off a certain way. You have to be kind of nice. You have to, no. Because sometimes the hard, cold truths that Spirit delivers to you are mean. Sometimes the messages that you have to give out to the world and to others are mean. Sometimes, like when I'm channeling, I don't always have the nicest things to say to people because people aren't listening. And that's the truth. Sometimes you come off more aggressive. Sometimes you come off more sort of X, Y, and Z. Spirituality is not this, it is so vast and it is so broad. And I hate the fact that we can even just say Western culture has put a stamp or this picture of what it's supposed to look like. Spirituality is inclusive. And one thing that I can't stand about our society, and I'm only going to speak for like the US, is how they put a picture on it and say, if you don't fit in this box, you're not spiritual. I have a problem with that, and a big fucking problem with it. A massive one. All you big back, all you massive. At the end of the day, spirituality is not a one size fits all. It is not a one look. It is not anything. It is energy. It is how you choose to show up, and it's how you choose to work with said energy. And I think I'm tired. Maybe I ended up on the wrong side of TikTok where I was just like, what is this? Like, we're listening to the Beast Simone sit here and be like, if you're doing it, like, girl, clearly you are lacking an identity. Go find one. Because what is this nonsense? I saw another creator, they talked it like going from hoe to holy. Or it's the hoe to holy pipeline. Lost it. End of the day, spirituality can look like whatever it is you want it to look like. You don't have to show up online a certain way. You don't have to put on this gimmick or this facade that, you know, how do I convince people I'm spiritual? I think that's where like the true pet peeve is. The fact that so many people think that you need to show up and look a certain way in order for anyone to somehow, some way believe you that you are tapped in, whatever it is. And I just think it's horseshit. Because I see a lot of creators on this app, and sometimes I've sat there in my imposter syndrome and said, maybe I'm not supposed to display my spirituality to others. Maybe I'm supposed to just keep this to those who are close to me and those that I could see in person and that I've gotten to know so I can channel for them, because I love channeling and it's such an exciting thing. And, but there aren't enough people in this space who look like me. There aren't enough people who just show up and are regular people, or even the girlies who love to do their makeup. Like, I love astrology. I've got my master's in clinical psychology. I love human behavior. I love mysticism. It's never ending. That spirituality has gotten to the point where it's like, well, you can only show up a certain way. You can only like certain things. You can only be X, Y, and Z for us to believe that you're spiritual. And I just think that's fucking horseshit. I think it's a crock of shit. And I saw a TikTok the other day where they're like, there's not enough people of you or people like you in this space. And I agree wholeheartedly. Like, I very rarely have I ever seen anybody show up in the space, in any spirituality space, like myself. I am, you know, I've got all my education. I am a gym girly. I'm a fitness girly. I literally love the human body. Not only do I love human behavior and the mind and how it works and the universe and everything else and life in general, but fitness and health and wellness, that's also another niche of mine. I love the way the human body works. It is just a beautiful machine, and not enough people understand the beauty of how it works. But with that being said, there's a stigma. It's like, oh, well, she can't be interested in everything. I can't believe her. I have one friend, he's also autistic, and we were talking about like things and services because I run multiple businesses. And he was like, well, why would I trust you if you're into all these things? If you trust me in one avenue of your life, why wouldn't you trust me in the other? Like, come on, I need you to fucking think here. Come on, I need you to think. Oh, well, I'll trust you in spirituality, but how can I trust you in health and wellness? Because the proof is in the fucking pudding. Literally, like, I lift every day. So many people know me in the health and wellness space, but not everybody knows me in my spiritual and like psychology space. Many people know me in my psychology space, but not everybody knows me in my health and wellness space. Another paradox. It's crazy. It's nuts. All of this to say is that you can be anything that you want. Don't allow what you see online to control the narrative of how you choose to show up for yourself. You can be absolutely everything. Those who are for you will find you. I guarantee that. Being tapped in and being deeply spiritual is such an exciting thing. It's such a gift that everybody has, but not everybody is willing to tap into. And I wish more people would be open to finding those and understanding those sides of themselves, but with due time. And in just a few weeks, I'll be launching one-on-one coaching to help guide you along your spiritual journey, because I've been helping initiate people along this path for years. That's a part of my soul's mission, is an initiator, and it's a beautiful thing. But back to the main topic at hand, I hate the box that people, or what society, or even what the internet has placed spirituality into. I can't stand it. You can be anything that you want. You want to be the fitness gym girly like myself, who loves to learn and read and educate and cook and bake and do everything that their heart desires. I mean, literally, I'm out here playing Bob the Builder in my 9-to-5 that I did for like the last 12 years. So it's like, you can be anything that you want. Don't allow what you see on social media to box you in. There's space for you and there's room for you at the table, and don't ever let anybody convince you otherwise. You can show up in your space in any which way that you want. And like I said before, those who are for you will find you. Don't let social media dictate how you choose to show up, especially when it comes to your spirituality and everything that you believe in. Anyway, thanks for getting ready with me. It's time to go lift.